I just thought it'd be an exciting, uplifting song to hear, you know, because it's a beautiful day.
Absolutely.
Oh, and it's a lovely day to give away some DVDs of Dave Gorman's Google Whack Adventure, which will bring internet-based nerd fun to
your living room. Your living room.
Yeah, your living room. So we've got two callers on the line, right?
Yes. Who's first?
I think Joanne is first. Hello, Joanne.
Hello there.
Thank you for calling.
You're welcome. How are you?
Very well, thank you, Joanne.
Yeah.
Good.
Now, before you reveal who your guest is, if that was a very badly said sentence, but could you talk us through some of your reasoning?
Well, I thought it was Paul Weller in the end, but it was a wild guess. 20 years ago he was in the Jam, wasn't he, roughly? Well, yeah, the 80s.
Yeah.
So it probably isn't him, but that's my guess. And I saw him in Berlin a couple of weeks ago, and he's been in the news because he's lost his throat and had a very bad throat infection.
So, but listen, what was it that Adam's mum said that made you think it might be Weller?
Oh.
It was this sort of old top of the pop stuff, wasn't it? Yeah.
I just it right from the beginning, so I wasn't really concentrating on it all.
And you fixated probably on the mediocreness.
Yeah.
Probably.
You know, did you like the way Adam's mum pronounced the word? Mediocre. I thought if we could, this is another idea, but if we could, you know, there's words that parents always pronounce in a different way.
Yeah, like pizza.
Like that. If we could collect enough words, we could trick one of your parents into saying a sentence with all these words in, and see how many they say in a funny way. Mediocre would be one of them anyway.
Mediocre pizza.
Joanne, sorry to spin it out there, but you're wrong.
You're wrong about that. But sorry, Joanne.
But you can have a Dave Gorman Google Whack Adventure DVD anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, what was your child saying?
Natalie and Russell is also here, but you can't hear him.
What are they trying to say?
No, Natalie's just shouting what have we won.
What have you won? Tell her Dave Gorman's Google Whack Adventure. Let's see what she says to that. Go on, tell her.
The radio.
She's gonna get all excited because she'll think, oh, it's like the Gruffalo or something.
Can't we give her that? No, we can't. It's too big to post. We won't tell her what. Okay, well, you've got a fantastic DVD.
Thank you anyway.
The kids are going to love it. Kids love eccentric browsing on the internet.
And crazy men with facial hair. So,
thanks for calling,
Thanks
Joanne.
very much indeed for calling, Joanne. Who else have we got, Joe?
I think we've got Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Hiya.
How you doing? Thanks for holding on.
That's okay.
Now, Sam, who do you think my mum was talking about just then?
Well, I thought it was Bob Geldof.
Geldof. Why do you think that?
Well, mediocre, obvious, and no, that's mean. I thought because 20 years ago and in the news at the moment, Fathers for Justice and loads of charity stuff.
Charity, that was the key thing, wasn't it? That was the giveaway, the charity work.
Absolutely correct. That was brilliant. Yeah, very, very well done indeed.
So listen, you know, according to the logic of this, we give you every time I read it out, I say a different thing. Isn't it exciting? Dave Gorman's Google Whack Adventure. Dave Gorman's Google Whack Adventure. Surely we should give the person who won something more.
My boyfriend has already pointed this out to me.
Well, your boyfriend's right. We could give you 2 copies of Dave Gorman's Google Whack Adventure.
What about
come true?
What about 28 copies of Dave Gorman's Google Whack Adventure? And then you could set up a little stall, and you could glue some little bits of carpet onto the side of your face, and pretend that you're Dave Gorman, and sell them.
But, yeah.
I tried to go see him and he wouldn't let me in because I was late, so I didn't see Google Whack live, so...
Well, you're better off on DVD, because the kind of people that go and see him, they frankly have bad odour.
Wait, he personally banned you from coming in the auditorium?
Well, not me per se, but apparently no latecomers were allowed in, absolutely not, on pain of death. Or
No.
Okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to
enough.
give you 3 copies.
Thank you!
3 copies of Dave Gorman's Google Whack Adventure.
Hey, you know what we should... Do you want a copy of the Adam and Joe DVD?
I would love one.
What? Can I just ask, why don't you already have one?
Because I've been waiting for my boyfriend to buy it for Christmas.
Quite right. It's going to... sales of our DVD are going to rocket at Christmas.
Rocket.
So there you go. You get 4 amazing DVDs. Well, 1 amazing DVD and 3 Dave Gorman DVDs. Congratulations. Thanks very much for calling.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, Sam.
Bye, Sam.
That was Mummification for this week. Coming up in the second hour of the show, we have got Crack Commentary Corner, where we play you a sample from a movie commentary. You have to guess what it is, and it's a really good one this week.
Very difficult.
Quite the grumpiest person I've ever heard on a DVD commentary.
An oldster.
An oldster. Somebody who respects the truth and veracity in movies, doesn't find it in the movie he's commentating over, and tells it like it is.
Wow.
That's Crack Commentary Corner.
Jim
coming
Belushi.
up. It's a good guess, Adam, but it's not Belushi.
Oh, okay.
Plus, we got some great music in the second half of the show, right?
Absolutely amazing stuff. We got a 90s classic coming your way from Tupac. A lot of amazing music as well from the likes of the Streets, the Green Day, the Snow Patrol, the Black Keys, the Zootons, etc., etc. So stick with Adam and Joe here on XFM. XFM.
That's Keane with one of their wicked songs. That one's called This Is The Last Time. This is Adam and Joe on XFM London's 104.9. Remember, you can text us on 83XFM or email us adamandjoe@xfm.co.uk. I think they're better at the slow numbers, Keane.
I like that one.
Yeah, I think they're better when they're slower.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Okay.
So we were discussing there Adam's mum's weird pronunciation of the word mediocre.
Mediocre, she says.
Mediocre, she said there in mummification. And we've had a very nice text from somebody who will remain nameless because he hasn't sent his name, or she, who says his dad always aluminum.
Well, that's how the Americans say it, isn't
aluminum
it?
Instead of aluminium.
Yeah.
Aluminum. We were trying to think of some others. How do your parents describe pizza?
Well, we talked about this years ago, but it's my mother-in-law calls it pizza.
Pizza. Would you like a slice of pizza? And is that the correct Italian pronunciation or something?
I've no idea. I would say not. I thought the Italians would call it pizza, wouldn't they? Pizza. And they also
that's how the Italians speak.
That's right. And her parents also, my wife's parents also insist on referring to rosé wine as rosé.
That's just mad.
Like that, rosé. But they'll be talking completely normally, and then suddenly the word rosé will come up, and they'll say, "Oh, would you like a bit of rosé?"
So what we want you to do is text us in words that kind of the older generation or people you know insist on pronouncing in a weird way. 83XFM. We're going to try and build up a list, and then we're going to try and trick Bad Dad or maybe Adam's mum into reading this sentence and see how many he mispronounces.
Speaking of my dad, he is obsessed by the concept of saying, rather than necessarily, which most people would say, he insists that the correct pronunciation is necessarily.
So you just speed through the beginning?
You sort of speed through the middle.
How would you describe that pronunciation?
Contracted.
But to me, it's such a bizarre pronunciation. You can't even describe how to pronounce it, so it must be wrong. Do you know? It's not as if he's putting emphasis on one syllable or another. It's just to do with the speed with which he says it.
Well, to break it down, he reckons the word is comprised of two basic parts: nessus and really. Necessarily.
So he doesn't say the error. Error, necessarily.
To him,
so he's actually removed a syllable.
Yeah, but he reckons that including the syllable is itself an error.
Does he say bus stop?
What?
Instead of does he say I'll meet you at the bus stop?
No, who does?
Me. Because we can start inventing words that our generation can say weirdly, and I think we should start with buzz stop.
Okay, I'm up for buzz stop.
Which buzz stop are you getting on the buzz? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, that's U2 with Vertigo. That wouldn't be nearly so bad if it wasn't for the... I mean, that's a good song, obviously, but I'd like it even more if it wasn't for the yeahs at the end, which just seemed to be trying a bit too hard. Before the break, you heard Take the Skinheads Bowling by Campervan Beethoven, another free play of ours here on the show this week on XFM. Now, Joe, who have we got on the line?
Well, Jonathan Ross is on the line because this whole mispronounced word thing has exploded. It's taken off. It's got a life of its own.
It's a phenomena.
We played Mummification, and in Mummification, Adam's mum mispronounced the word mediocre. She said mediocre. So we were just discussing words that parents, people in the older generation or friends, pronounce in a different and annoying way. Are you there, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Well, you sound miles away.
He's distant.
What I'm doing with it then. Here you go.
There we go.
Is that any better?
Yeah, that's much better. Thanks for calling.
My earpiece. Hey, well, thank you for doing such a lovely...
God bless you.
Especially now Adam's back. It was a bit when you're on your own.
I know, it was, wasn't it? It was just... It was awkward and embarrassing because I was obviously nervous and the audience were nervous. It got better towards the end though, didn't it?
Well, yeah.
Oh, you stopped listening, didn't you?
Yeah. So listen, I know I'm enjoying this. Mummification's great, and here's the words I would like to chip in. My father always used to pronounce salt. It was just after salt, and it was really annoying. It was just such a small squashed vowel, but that was enough. He also used to say moustache.
That's just ridiculous.
I think it's quite common.
Moustache.
Moustache, but the best one we heard was we were out once with a friend of ours, who you know, Emily, I know you know her.
Yeah.
She overheard a guy in a restaurant, a nice middle-class man, and he was out with his kids, and he was chasing him around the restaurant. It was a Sunday afternoon, you know, he was having a nice time, and he was chasing them, and he was overdoing "Storm Monster is coming." That I asked Storm Monster.
Was that not just for the benefit of the kids?
It was, no, I think he's the sort of bloke you could see, Bowden, head to toe, he always pronounced restaurant restaurant. Because then when he left, he went, "Come on then, Tommy, come on, Molly, Narnia's going to start soon."
I think that he probably comes from the same universe as my mother-in-law, talking about Rosie.
So how about we've had quite a lot of text on this, Jonathan. We've got somebody who says that a relative pronounces crisps crips.
That's horrible. That's a bit creepy.
That's quite a common one, crips, isn't it?
It's not people kind of like doing it just to be sweet, to be kind of cute.
Well, it's probably more like just people being thick, isn't it? It's like George Bush and a lot of other people who are unable to say nuclear and say nuclear.
Well, you hear so much in newscasts as well, instead of pronouncing cocaine, they say cocaine.
What? Cooking?
Have you never heard him say cocaine?
Cooking?
So Trevor McDonald, he'll say, he'll go, and you know, I did that because that was Lenny Henry's thing. His funniest thing.
Yeah.
He said he used to say, and released today have received £4 million of cocaine.
But he pronounces everything weird, doesn't he? He's got the weirdest intonation in the world.
Well, it's his own, though, isn't it? You see,
Yeah.
I think maybe he thought, you know, this will make me memorable.
Well, yes. And how about the word stereo, which dads often pronounce stereo?
Stereo.
Stereo?
You've both got very posh, well-spoken dads, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they would pronounce posh, so they can't help it. They speak posh, even if they're not posh. 'Cause your dad isn't sort of really posh, Adam, is he? But he's sort of like, you know, has a posh outlook on life.
Yeah, no, he does. He's
He knows the grotesque.
Yeah, that's right. He's spiritually.
He speaks correctly. What are you really doing here? You know what you're really doing? You're celebrating mediocrity.
That's absolutely true. Mediocrity. And in fact, we've already been corrected on our pronunciation of pronunciation, which is actually, of course, pronounced pronunciation.
Pronunciation, yeah.
There you go.
Half the scene is-
Have you got... What sound of sheep in the background,
In my
Jonathan?
back garden, I've got 2 sheep.
Oh.
That's amazing. So, Jonathan, you're back home after your radio show. What does the rest of the afternoon hold for you?
Very little. I'm going to lie around like a fat sultan, like an old Turkish sultan, being fed sweetmeats by my children. And if they make any mistake when carrying the sweet, tempting morsels to my mouth, I shall shout at them and send them to bed early.
Ah. Listen, Jonathan, but why don't you invite us around one day? We haven't seen you for ages.
I keep inviting Joe, and he never comes. And you've got too many children to come out now, Adam. You stay at home looking after your children.
It's true, although me and my wife sat down this, you know, we've really got to start getting out more because you and I are just beginning to argue quite a lot.
Well, Wednesday night, I'm going out for my birthday. Do you want to come out then?
That would be great, yeah.
Yes, please.
Come on, and bring both your listeners.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay, see you then, guys.
Cheers, Jonathan.
Has to spoil it. Has to ruin it.
He starts off with a dig, and then he ends up with a dig.
With a stab.
There you go.
Listen, if you've got any mispronounced words by dads or the older generation, do text us 83XFM. You're listening to Adam and Joe on XFM, London's 104.9.
You see, I press it,
Yeah.
and then it just doesn't start.
It's exciting.
So I was trying to make it all slick, and then there's a little pause. Here's Baby Shambles.
XFM.
Yes, it's XFM, and it's in London.
Yeah. That's the Zootons with Confusion. Sounding a little bit like Beautiful South there, I thought.
Is that an insult, Adam Buxton?
No, it's not like Beautiful South.
Do you like the Beautiful South?
They're not my favourite, but
No,
I
you don't like the Beautiful South.
I do, I do.
Come on.
Hey, just because I don't buy them, I hate them.
Did they do Think for a Minute?
No, that was the House Martins.
Oh, really? That's when I stopped buying the Beautiful South. Oh, dear. Okay, this is Adam and Joe on XFM, London's 104.9. Coming up is Crap Commentary Corner, where we record some commentary from a movie. You have to guess who's talking and what the movie is. Are we going to do this now, Adam?
We're not going to do it right now, we're going to do it after the next song.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But stand by your phones, that's a little tease.
Yeah, so the number is 0871 222 1049. You could do a very special screening of The Incredibles this Wednesday night. The Incredibles is brilliant. It's one of these films that's going to be marketed with a sort of suffocating barrage of nonsense, but it is actually really good.
It's a Pixar animation.
It's a Pixar
thingy.
animation. It's directed by Brad Bird, the guy that made The Iron Giant, which was a lovely hand-animated film. Came out about 7 or 8 years ago, maybe 5. I don't know.
Yeah, underrated.
But Incredibles is terrific, really, really good. And we're going to give quite a lot of tickets away. So this isn't just 4. This is 4 tickets. So you and what? 5 tickets? 4 pairs?
Pairs, that's 8.
That's 8. So you and like 7 friends could go.
Ewan McGregor
Ewan McGregor.
could go.
Wow, he could go on his bike with Charlie Borman.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a big prize. It's